Howdy doody, my name is Susie, and today I thought I would share with you just a quick little recipe on how to make these delicious little chocolate treats that I know will satisfy your sweet tooth. And we're not using complicated methods or even ingredients. We're actually just using 4 ingredients. We're using 70% dark chocolate, we're using coconut oil, we're using shredded unsweetened coconut, and we're using peanut butter that is sugar-free. Now, all you're going to need is a measuring cup, or if you're going to do it in the microwave, which I'm going to do, you're going to need a microwave-proof container. And I'm just using a measuring cup because it's really easy to use. You're going to need these little mini muffin tins, and I've got 24 little liners. Now, the key ingredient or the reason that I made the recipe in the first place was really because of the coconut oil. I wanted to introduce a little bit more coconut oil into my everyday diet. I was looking for foods that help with cognition and are good brain foods, and I came across Dr. Mary Newport's video, a neonatal doctor, and her husband was diagnosed with a neurodegenerative disease. And she basically depicts their journey, but she also talks about how she used coconut oil, specifically the MCT in coconut oil, to help her husband overcome some of the symptoms of his disease. And it's very interesting. There's a lot of science behind it. There's some stuff that you'll understand, some stuff I didn't understand, but generally speaking, her message is that ketones are an alternative source of fuel for both your body and brain cells. And this is her message. So if you've ever known somebody who's been on the keto diet, they will claim, and I have tried being on the keto diet for about 4 months, you do definitely gain a lot more energy. And I did feel that there was a lot of clarity, or they also describe it as clearing up brain fog. So that was the effects that I felt while being on the keto diet, because when you're on the keto diet, it's a very high fat, low carb diet where your body is really using up all that fat and ketones to keep it fueled. And it really does benefit a lot of people. I used it specifically because I felt I had some extra inflammation in my body, and it did agree with me, but it wasn't a diet I was going to stay on forever. Interesting, and it really spurred on my curiosity about MCT oil, which is found in coconut oil. And it has said, and I've read a lot of different documents, but there's approximately 15% of coconut oil is the MCT. And MCT stands for medium chain triglycerides. And these MCTs, because they're smaller, they're medium chain as opposed to long chain, which takes much longer for the body to absorb. These MCT or medium chain triglycerides are absorbed by the body very, very quickly, and they are converted into ketones in your liver. And ketones are a direct fuel to your cells, both body and your brain cells, as opposed to glucose and sugars, which are your primary source of energy for your body. Now, her theory is that when the brain becomes diseased of some of these different illnesses, it is sometimes referred to being insulin resistant. And we need insulin in order to change our glucose into a fuel or a source of energy for our body. And I'm not a scientist or a nutritionist or at all with regards to these health foods. I'm just Susie Homemaker, and I'm just curious about stuff. The coconut oil smoke point, or at the point that it starts smoking if you heat it, is 175 degrees Celsius, followed by some other oils that have a high smoke point, like peanut oil, corn oil, soybean oil, etc. So coconut oil is used in many cultures for many thousands of years for food, for hair, for skin, and also for medicinal purposes. And Coconut oil actually will stay at room temperature up to 25 degrees Celsius. I think that's about 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So having said that, in warmer climates, your coconut oil may not be solid, it may be a liquid, which is why these little treats need to be kept in the fridge. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take our chocolate, and so a whole bar of chocolate is 100 grams. Like I said, this is 70% chocolate. Exactly. So all we're going to do is we're going to take our chocolate, we're going to melt it very slowly in the microwave. And we're going to do it at 10-second intervals. Once our chocolate is almost at the melting point, then we'll add in the coconut oil and the peanut butter, which melt at a much lower temperature. They'll actually melt just based on the heat of the chocolate. Obviously, the smaller the pieces, the faster it will melt. So I'm going to start this off by just heating it up for 20 seconds, and then I'm going to do 10-second intervals. And you want to do it in 10-second intervals so you don't burn the chocolate, because if you burn it, there's really no coming back from that. So you have to pop it in the microwave, and then you've got to give it about a minute to stir, because it will start melting as you stir it. So give it a little bit of a stir to loosen it up. And it should, depending on the strength of your microwave, it should take about between 30 to 40 seconds. So it's been 30 seconds. And you can see it's lumpy, but it's starting to melt. And at this point, I'm going to add the coconut oil and the peanut butter, and these will just slowly melt because the chocolate is warm. There isn't a specific order, but I find it's easier if you partially melt the chocolate and then use the heat of the chocolate to melt that coconut oil. You can see how quickly the coconut oil melts. And then I just add the peanut butter. If it doesn't completely melt at 30 seconds, then I would pop it. Then you can always pop it in the microwave for another 10 seconds. But this has never taken more than 40 seconds from start to completely melted for me. Now, each one of these are about 89 calories. How fluid that is. And using the measuring cup helps because you're just going to basically fill up each one of these little cups about 3/4 of the way. And what I do is I just add a few grains of this shredded coconut to the bottom. That just gives it a little crunch. It makes it taste nice. Now, MCT oil is found in coconut, palm oil, and some animal fats, but it has its greatest amount is found in coconut oil. Not as much as in the flesh of the coconut. And these are small amounts, but every bit helps. So I didn't even fully use up the 2 tablespoons. Now, each one of these is approximately 89 calories. Oops, that was a little bit too much. So 3/4 of the way up should give you an even 24 of these little chocolate coconut peanut butter cups. Now, MCT, one of the reasons that I was so intrigued about this was that when Dr. Mary Newport talked about MCT, the reason she recognized it as being a good fuel for the body was because as a neonatal doctor, they gave premature babies MCT in order to help them grow and develop faster. She also indicates that MCT oil is found in breast milk and that it is used in many baby formulas as a means of replicating or trying to replicate mother's milk. Infant formulas have MCT oil, so this is something that has been identified as being nutritious and safe if they're giving it to babies. So chances are we've all had MCT in the past. Now the side effect of having too much coconut oil is that it can produce soft stools. And like most things in life, you want to do them in moderation, see how you feel, and then if it agrees with you and it's helping you and it makes you feel better and you like the taste, then eat more of it. So now that we've poured our chocolate, we're going to put this into the refrigerator to set. It's going to take about 30 minutes. And like I said, this is something you have to keep refrigerated, especially if you live in a hot climate. And then you can just pop one out and have one each day with each meal. So as you can see, our chocolates have set, and these might as well be icebox chocolates because you have to keep them refrigerated or they will melt very quickly. Now also I forgot to mention that chocolate also has some nutritional value with its flavonoids, as does peanut butter with its protein. So these are all things that are good for you, but they're also delicious. So let's take a bite. These are delicious. They're crunchy, but they almost immediately melt in your mouth. So these will keep for a good 2 to 3 weeks. There's 24, so if you wanted to try it out and really see how it makes you feel, you can have 3 a day, 1 with each meal. Try it out for 8 days, see if it makes you feel any different. Or you can just simply make them as a treat. So if you try these, I hope that you like them. I hope I piqued your curiosity in terms of MCT oil and coconut oil and ketones. And by the way, MCT oil is also present in products such as CBD oil, which is used for pain as anti-inflammatory. I also use the coconut oil in our golden paste, which is also an anti-inflammatory along with the turmeric and the other ingredients. So there seems to be a common thread in terms of the MCT, where it does help with inflammation, and I hope that it helps you. So if you try these and you like them, I hope that you share them. If you'd like to see more content, I hope you subscribe. And this isn't just a treat, it's a little bit of food for thought. Until next time, happy eating.